What's good with the chat? It's your boy, Mr. Compound. We back at it again with another banger. Listen, today we got moment when wife accidentally slips up the truth. Shout out to Mysterious 7. We've been going hard with the Mysterious 7 reactions. They got pretty good videos. Listen, before we get into the video, I'm going to give you all a couple seconds. Make sure you like the video up. That's all I ask for. Like the video right now. We'll give you a couple seconds. All right, now let's get into it.
Ah, man! Timmy, stop! Please, Timmy, I'm dying! No, please! Stab in my neck, man!
After a vicious attack by his wife Tempest, 27-year-old Vincent Taylor escaped in a desperate bid to save his life. But what followed next turned his entire world upside down.
He pushed me so far that my feet come off the ground and I'm laying on the ground. He got on top of me and started punching me repeatedly.
Once the victim, now a suspect, what appeared to be a minor slip-up revealed a reality far more terrifying than what anyone could have imagined.
So I'm trying to chase him and get my phone after he's already assaulted me. And I went and grabbed my knife and I hit at him.
You're portraying him as an abuser. Most abusers don't run from the fight.
If she's chasing him with the knife, then there's no defense to that. She's not the victim in that case. And she's chasing him up and down the street.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm taking my...
I'm gonna kill you.
Help! Help!
Nah, they got it all on cam?
On January the 18th, 2020, at 9:30 p.m., police received a chilling 911 call from a neighbor reporting hearing a man desperately shouting for help. Little did they know, this was only the beginning of one of the most disturbing cases they'd ever encounter.
Thought I heard some shit.
When officers arrived, they were first met with a woman whose husband was allegedly noticed running on streets and screaming.
Yeah, what's going on?
My husband and I got into it and my kids are upstairs in their room. But he was coming at me. I'm clearly not able to move this.
Let's go in the house. Let's go in the house.
I don't want my kids to.
Well, I ain't standing out here in the rain.
As soon as they stepped into the house, the officers found Tempest standing on crutches. She seemed anxious, and without waiting for questions, began explaining what had happened.
Hey, what happened tonight?
It's been all day.
All right, calm down. Calm down. Come sit down on the couch, all right?
She's on crutches, and she then begins to explain that she and her husband had had an altercation.
I come downstairs and he's packing all his stuff. Get out. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I said, okay, fine, then leave. And he gets in my face again. He's foaming at the mouth. I said, see, that's why I can't talk to you. You're just so aggressive like a rabid dog. He pushed me so far that my feet come off the ground and I'm laying on the ground. He got on top of me and started punching me repeatedly.
Punching you where?
On my arm. I was like this in the cradle position. So he's pushing me and punching me and he punched me in my face and I said, I cannot see.
The person Tempest alleged to have brutally beaten her was none other than her own husband, Vincent.
This is not the first time that I had to call the police on him. He got arrested for that before.
What she's telling the officers is that I'm the victim and Vincent is this big, bad boogeyman.
You have any marks, cuts, or
Bruises.
I want to take a look at your arms. You said he bit you right there?
He bit me on my side.
Okay, I want to look at your face, so close your eyes.
As the officers examined her injuries, they noticed something strange. Despite her story of a vicious attack, they
there
couldn't
weren't
find
any bruises.
wounds that matched the severity of what she described. However, then she slipped up and revealed such information which blurred the lines between a victim and attacker.
So I'm trying to chase him and get my phone after he's already assaulted me. And I went and grabbed my knife. And I hit at him.
Do you know where you stabbed him at?
I know, I didn't see anything. I just
Okay.
was trying to get him off.
She doesn't know.
In just seconds, Tempest's story flipped, and she wasn't only a victim.
Nah, that looked like a shank. That looked like a crazy shank.
She was also the attacker, having stabbed her husband multiple times. But why? Her version of events weren't adding up, and the police knew they needed to find Vincent, who had likely been severely injured after the attack. They quickly started searching for him, and it didn't take long before they received another 911 call, this time from DeKalb County. This call came in shortly after the first 911 call made by the neighbor, and it brought some serious news that would soon lead them to the shocking truth.
They need police and ambulance at this gas station because there is a man who is severely injured and he needs help.
When EMT arrived at the gas station, the male was bleeding. He did have a small puncture wound on the left side of his collarbone.
After running the plates on the car, the police confirmed that the victim was actually Vincent Taylor. He was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, but despite the efforts to save him, he was pronounced dead at 10:46 p.m.
When the detective told me on the phone that my son was in critical condition with a knife wound to his neck, I can't explain to you how I knew, but I knew he was dead. I knew it. I could feel it. I remember dropping the phone. I remember dropping to my knees. I'm not sure how I got there, but I know I drove, but I don't remember the trip. I remember they let me see him, and when I viewed the body, he was like he was sleeping. He was in the same clothes. And I saw him in, and I passed out. I just passed out.
Back at the scene, Tempest was detained and taken to the Clayton County Police Station for questioning by detectives.
How you gonna do that to your husband?
Officers who remained at the scene began talking to the neighbors, trying to gather more information.
People are sick.
I've gotten a verbal statement from her, which is, I heard screaming, so I called the police. If anybody else comes, just write their name down so I can put it on the log, and I'll go down there and get a statement.
One of the neighbors came forward, telling the police she'd heard screaming coming from the house. She'd seen Tempest chasing Vincent down the street, and what stood out was that Tempest wasn't using her crutches. This was a crucial detail, as the police had suspected all along that Tempest had been using them to appear weak and innocent, and this sighting confirmed their suspicions. At 3 a.m., Tempest's interview at the police station finally began.
We did not initially reveal to Tempest that Vincent had passed away.
All right, so you and your husband, do you call him Vincent?
And
Vince.
We wanted to go ahead and get the information that we needed and then present her with the information that he had passed away.
He's punching you, he bit you, he kicked you. You got up and you grabbed a knife. What was he doing when you grabbed a knife?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
The detectives methodically walked Tempest through the details of the incident, but her story didn't hold up. She claimed she was curled up on the floor, trying to protect herself from Vincent's blows, when suddenly he jumped up. Seizing the opportunity, she said she ran to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and chased him down to stab him. But the sequence of events didn't add up. Why would she leave her defensive position to chase him with a knife?
Yeah, and if for self-defense, especially, depending on what state you're in, you can't go chasing nobody with no knife talking about self-defense. You can't shoot nobody in the back either. As soon as somebody turns from you, they're defenseless, so now you're the aggressor.
She was truly in danger. The inconsistencies in her story raised serious doubts, making it clear that something was seriously off.
So you said you were outside. What happened outside?
I don't remember. That's where the incident happened, where I hit him with the knife, but I don't remember.
Okay. So you get the knife from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember what happened, but when he tells you, you hit me, you're outside.
That's correct.
Okay.
Tempest explained that the stabbing actually took place outside as she chased Vincent down with a knife. But her story didn't add up. If she'd been chasing him, it clearly contradicted her claim of self-defense. An abuser doesn't run away from their victim. They silence them or overpower them. But if Tempest was actively chasing Vincent, it was obvious she wasn't trying to protect herself. On the contrary, it seemed like she was intentionally going after him, which raised serious doubts about her version of events.
Well, we're just going to regroup and check with the officers that are on scene and see if they have anything else for us, and then we'll come back in. Go ahead.
Okay.
Do you need anything?
Even after all the drama the Tempest put on, detectives weren't ready to buy her story. If Tempest was truly a
She's
victim
actually
in this
crying
ordeal,
though. A lot of these
something
that we be
didn't add
watching,
up,
they don't even be
raising serious
crying.
questions.
They be sitting there
What
like,
could have led to such a violent outcome?
like, bro, you did it.
Alright, so Vince did not survive his injury. Excuse me? He passed away. No. When Vegas did it?
Oh, why couldn't it have been me? Why couldn't it have been me?
It was pandemonium. And that just seemed real contrived.
He's the only man I ever
Contrived.
loved.
She
What does that mean?
still painted herself as the victim.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
To understand it all, they needed to go back
Time
to the
behind
beginning
bars.
and uncover the
That's
truth
what you
about
about
their
to do.
relationship. It all started in 2010
Damn,
when Vincent
RP Vince,
enrolled at
man.
the Art Institute of Atlanta to study audio production.
In the first 6 months of Vincent being at the Art Institute is when he met Tempest and she came into the picture. When Vincent and Tempest started dating, they spent pretty much every day together. It seemed to make sense. They got along. She was very funny and goofy like him as well. And she was pretty much down for whatever, we wanted to do, where we wanted to hang out, where we wanted to eat. She just fit in.
But not everyone saw their relationship in a positive light. From the start, something felt off about Tempest being around.
Vincent came over to the house and he brought Tempest with him. And that was the first time I had ever met her. I thought she was quiet, very reserved. She wasn't someone that you could easily know.
Didn't get a lot out of her at the time, which concerned me.
Yo, well, your family be knowing too.
Kind of keep an eye on Vincent, make sure, he stays focused or whatever. And then I think her comment was, I don't have time to look out for him. I gotta look out for myself. It was about her. It wasn't about him. And that's what I didn't like in the beginning.
That wasn't the only thing to be concerned about.
You only
Vincent
get one
had
time
also
to make a
dropped
first
out of
impression.
college and began taking odd jobs, all to please Tempest and take care of her. He was completely smitten with her, but as their relation progressed, things started to change. About a year in, Vincent began opening up about the problems he was having with Tempest.
Vince used to confide in me a lot about how quickly Tempest could just snap at the push of a button. These mood swings don't sound like normal behavior.
It wasn't just emotional tension. There were signs of physical fights, too.
I remember I went on this trip to Miami. When I came back, you could tell there was a fight at the house because there were some holes in the doors. I confronted him with that.
Damn.
And he was very quiet about who did what. He just said they had an argument, and he did not disclose what happened there. So that's where I knew that something's not right with this relationship. This is a bad relationship.
Despite everything, Vincent was determined to make his relationship with Tempest work. He moved in with her and her family, hoping things would improve. Soon, they welcomed their first child, and for a while, it seemed like parenthood might bring them closer and soften the tension between them.
Where you going? Where you going?
That moment that their daughter was born was probably one of the most pure and beautiful moments between the two. That was the first time that they shared something, on that level. Him being a dad really transformed him into the man that he was supposed to become.
For a while, everything seemed fine as they settled into their new life, but soon, Tempest's behavior began to change. Her mood swings grew more intense, and she became increasingly erratic. What started as occasional tension soon turned into daily abuse, with Tempest beating Vincent almost every day. But things were about to take a...
Yo, listen, I said this in one of the other videos, so I'm going to continue to say it as long as it keeps popping up. If you are in a relationship, man, woman, whatever, and you're getting hit or somebody is verbally violating you, abusing you, it's only going to get worse. And you got to think to yourself, how bad could it possibly get? Death. That's how bad it could get.
A darker turn.
That fast.
One day, during a heated argument, Tempest took it too far. She hid Vincent's car keys and did everything she could to stop him from going to work.
Vincent called me. He was like, Dad, she's jumping on my car. She won't move out the way. I can't get to work. And I'm helpless. I mean, I'm at work.
His boss didn't really have any more room for excuses. He ended up losing his job.
I just don't understand how somebody could love somebody and then do the things that Tempest did. I feel like she had a lot of control over him, almost like he was in a trance at times. And I felt like she could hurt him.
Everyone could see the danger Vincent
But
was in.
Pop, that's your son, Pop. If that's your son, come on, you gotta... Listen, my pops, he tell me a lot of stuff. Growing up, he told me a lot of stuff. It's up to me to listen. But based on everything that he's told me and he's shown me growing up, this wouldn't be happening. This wouldn't be happening, especially if he was on something like, yo, she bugging, blah, 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 blah. I'm packing her up. If my pops told me to pack her up, I'm packing her up. I don't care.
Despite all the problems, he chose to stay.
Because my pops likes everybody. He give everybody the benefit of the doubt. So if he don't like you, it's you. It's not him.
With Tempest. In the winter of 2016, Vincent reached a breaking point.
Package
He
deal.
called his
So if
mother,
he don't like
Robin
you, I
Brown,
don't like you either.
telling her he was exhausted and couldn't take it anymore. He wanted a divorce from Tempest. This gave his family a glimmer of hope as they thought he would finally be free from the toxic relationship and could start over. Robin, who owned property in Rex, Georgia, offered him a place to stay and assured him that she'd help him fund a lawyer for the divorce. This offer seemed like a fresh start for Vincent, and he felt relieved and optimistic about the future. But just when it seemed like things were looking up, everything came crashing down.
And 1 week later, she moved in. And he says, Mom, I'm not moving forward with the divorce. Okay, here we go again. It was just a vicious cycle that he was in. He couldn't get out. He was determined that no matter how bad it is, I'm going to keep trying to show her I love her and I love the kids. He did not want to be divorced like I was. And I think that's where I wish me being divorced did not influence his decision as he got older, that he didn't want his children.
Yo, and it's sad because our parents' relationships growing up, when you're kids, even if you don't know it subconsciously, you're basing your relationship style, you're basing the way that you look at people, the way that your parents or whoever you was around that raised you, based on how their relationships were. So it's like, if you see that, they might try to go against it on some, I want to do this for the kids. That's where stuff gets tricky. People want to try to stay together with someone who they know is not compatible. They know it's not going to work just for the kids. It's not going to work. And the kids are going to get to an age where they see what's going on. Especially nowadays. Kids are so advanced. They know what's going on. They can see it. You can't lie to no kids nowadays.
Children to be in that environment.
Vincent felt trapped in an endless cycle. He just couldn't escape. A mere 2 months later, he confided in his grandmother, Linda, about how tired he was of Tempest's erratic behavior. Desperate for peace, he asked her to leave, but Tempest's response was clear. She wasn't going anywhere. In a fit of frustration and anger, Vincent called the police, hoping they could intervene and make her leave. But what he hoped would be a solution turned into a nightmare.
She said, well, I'm not going anywhere. And so he called the police. When the police got there, one of the police officers just asked her point blank, did he hit you? And yeah, he hit me. And they haul him off. He didn't have money for an attorney. He ended up pleading guilty. So he couldn't get a decent job with this type of black mark on your record.
Months after, when Vince was on probation, she turned around and tells my sister-in-law, he didn't hit me, I just said it to get him locked up. And that's why Vincent stopped calling the police for help, because he felt that they would believe her and he'll be the one getting arrested.
Even after Tempest's alleged confession, she never retracted her statement to the police. She continued to play the victim, a role that terrified Vincent the most, as it made it even harder for anyone to believe his side of the story. Feeling completely helpless, Vincent turned to his father, Vincent Sr., for support. He called him, explaining how Tempest's constant aggression was breaking him down, and he didn't know how much longer he could take it. Vincent Sr. brought him to his home, offering him a safe place to stay, hoping he could find some peace and relief. But even there, things weren't as simple as they seemed.
Do you know, midnight he ran out my house and went back over to her? That hurt me. You hear me? That hurt me. I knew without a doubt he had no idea how much danger he was in when I did.
By 2018, Tempest had become increasingly difficult for Vincent to handle, especially when it came to spending time with his family. She wouldn't let him visit his parents without getting incredibly angry, and this constant tension pushed Vincent to distance himself from his loved ones.
Yo, that's another thing too. People be trying to, when people are in those relationships, them abusive relationships, they try to keep you away from the people who know you the best because they're going to tell you about yourself and they're going to show a different view to the situation and then get the person to realize, yo, you better than this. That's why they try to keep them away from everybody. That shit's weird. And if you're going to allow somebody to tell you who you can and can't be friends with and not talk to your family and your parents, and you're weird.
Thinking
you're
it
the
would
problem.
keep the peace at home. But in doing so, Vincent made one of the biggest mistakes of his life.
The longer that they were together, the more she got to know him and really master his insecurities, she would use that and throw it back in his face, bullying him into thinking that he wasn't enough. If he threatened to leave, she would threaten to take the kids away, tell him that he wouldn't be able to see his kids if he left. Like, if Tempest was to take those children away from him, I'm afraid he wouldn't feel like he had anything to live for.
On January 18th, 2020, at 10:30 a.m., Vincent knocked on his father's door, but when his father opened it, he was stunned by what he saw.
At 10:30 in the morning, my son knocked at my door. When I answered the door, he was crying. He was scratched up real bad. He fell right into my arms. I was holding him. It's like, what's going on? He just, immediately just said, she's just so mean, Daddy. I said, who's mean? What's going on? He's like, Tempest, she didn't want to come, so she didn't want me to come, and she was mad at me for leaving, and she just started fighting me, and she kicked me in my groin, and it still hurts, Dad, and I just can't do it anymore.
The children were still sitting in the car, and Vincent took them with him as he and his father went inside to spend the entire day together. For the first time in a long while, Vincent's lost smile returned, and he felt the warmth and comfort of his family around him. But little did they know, this would be the last time they saw Vincent smile. His life was about to change forever. Throughout the day, Tempest's repeated calls fueled her growing anger with each ring, leaving Vincent increasingly anxious.
Vince did not survive his injury. Excuse me? He passed away. No. When I get
Cut the shit.
Oh, why did it have been me? Why did it have been me?
Because he loved your nut ass for whatever reason.
Back in the interrogation room, Tempest continued to sob for her husband's death. However, detectives had already pieced together enough evidence to reveal the truth. Vincent had been a victim all along, and Tempest was the real abuser. On the night of January 18th, her uncontrollable anger reached its peak, leading her to stab Vincent numerous times as he begged for his life. Despite the conflicting versions of events she tried to present, Tempest was charged with voluntary manslaughter.
These situations are never easy for any of us, okay? Unfortunately, we do have to charge you, all right? Okay.
So this is what we're going to do. We're going to handcuff you from behind, and we're going to take you to the squad car and take you down to the county, okay?
Okay.
However, the police knew they needed more evidence to build a stronger case against her. They obtained a search warrant for Vincent's vehicle, hoping to find something that would reveal more.
We were able to locate 3 cell phones inside there. One belonged to Vincent, one belonged to Tempest, and one belonged to their younger daughter.
What they discovered on his phone painted a clear picture of the abusive relationship between Vincent and Tempest.
In Vincent's phone, we found several text messages between him and Tempest. It appeared that their relationship was very volatile. A lot of name calling and back and forth, a lot of jealousy.
The picture was that Tempest was not this shrinking wallflower that she wanted everyone to believe. It wasn't true by the conduct. It wasn't true by the text messages. It wasn't true.
Just 8 months later, while Tempest was awaiting trial, she was released on bail. This decision angered Vincent's family, especially as Tempest began flaunting her freedom on social media. She went back to living a normal life as if nothing had happened, which only made things worse for the family.
We did get several calls from Vincent's family. They were struggling. They were struggling because they were trying to process their grief while watching her live her life.
After 3 long years, the time for final justice arrived when a trial date was set for December 2023. The prosecutors began reviewing and collecting data from Tempest's phone using new technology and software, and what they discovered was shocking. They were able to retrieve a horrifying recording from the day of the murder, one that revealed the chilling truth about what had really happened and shook everyone.
No one will ever take care of you like I take care of you.
You're a horrible person. They're gonna tell the kids that I hurt them. You hurt them.
I need my phone.
No, this is
Need
not
my
your
phone.
This is hers.
It's not.
My
I
credit.
bought that phone. I bought all these phones. Give me my phone.
Stop!
I'm not even touching you, girl. Watch out.
Didn't you get in trouble for that with the police before for taking the phone out of my hand?
I don't give
When
a.
you using me?
I wasn't abusing you. You're abusive.
I ain't did nothing to you.
Yes, you
I have not done anything to you. You just want to fight me.
No, I don't. I want to leave you.
Then leave.
That's what I'm doing.
He was convinced in his mind that, yeah, this is never going to change. This is where we're going to be. And he really was going to leave. And I don't believe that she was going to allow that to happen.
I'm gonna kill you.
Because I'm taking my.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Tempest, chill, bruh.
No.
Tempest, chill. Tempest, chill, man. Please, man, chill.
No.
Stop.
Nah, this is rough.
Do you think I
Tempest,
am?
stop.
Do you think I am?
Stab in my neck, man.
Vincent ran as fast as he could, hoping to reach his father for help, but it was already too late. He wasn't able to save himself that night.
It was very hard to understand how she didn't care.
With the new irrefutable evidence from the recording, Tempest's charges were upgraded to malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a knife during the commission of a felony. After an agonizing 3-year wait, in December 2023, Tempest was finally found guilty. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole, bringing a sense of justice to Vincent's family, although the pain of their loss would never fully go away.
From looking at the reaction of the verdict, I think she thought she was going to get away with it. It was deserving. I'm just happy that, we were the voice for Vincent.
It should be with no chance of parole.
Justice.
I can tell you, with all honesty, that it still hurts. And that I will never get over this. I will never get past this. It's a piece of you. And he's gone. So how do you feel that void when there's something missing?
What are your thoughts on this case? Was Tempest really a victim? Did she stab Vincent with the intention to kill him, or was it just an accident? We'd love to hear from you.
L Tempest in the chat. She did that shit on purpose. R.I.P. Vincent, man. That was a rough one. That video evidence that they had killed her. She thought she was about to get away. But if you still here, drop a 1 in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We on the grind. Shout out to y'all. If you're new here, sub up. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss when we drop. And appreciate y'all, man.